Alright gamers, Razer's back at it again, and apparently our fingers weren't fast enough the first time because they just dropped the Huntsman V3 Pro 8kHz, a keyboard so fast and responsive it practically registers your thoughts. I've been using this beast for a bit, and honestly, it's one of the most over-engineered keyboards I've ever touched, but in the best possible way. So let's see what makes this thing tick, click, and snap faster than anything you've tried before. As soon as you get it unboxed, you can tell right away you're looking at a premium keyboard. Razer went with a nice brushed aluminum top plate that gives it a really solid professional feel. There's no noticeable flex in the frame. Any movement you see here is actually coming from the kickstands bending because I'm pressing so hard. And with a build this solid, there's no cheap creaking sounds. It's just clean, crisp vibes all the way around. The textured Doubleshot PBT keycaps are a huge win on here. They've got that matte finish that resists shine and fingerprints, so there's none of that slippery ABS nonsense after a few sweaty matches. They're very premium feeling keycaps. Razer included a magnetic wrist rest. It's firm instead of soft and squishy, and it just snaps right on without being overly bulky. And even though it's firm, it feels pretty comfortable because they've got this soft pleather material on top. Now let's get to the fun stuff. What's going on under the hood? Underneath those PBT caps, you'll find Razer's Gen 2 analog optical switches. If you've never tried these types of switches, think of it like this. Instead of a simple on-off press like a regular mechanical switch, these can detect exactly how far you pressed a key. That means you can fine-tune your actuation point from a massive range of 0.1 millimeters all the way to 4 millimeters. Why does that matter? Because it gives you the ability to precisely customize the board to fit your playstyle. You want a super light hair trigger response for gaming? Done. Prefer a deeper, more deliberate press for typing? Yep, you can do that too, and everything in between. You can even assign different actuation depths for different keys. It's a ridiculous level of customization. And because they use optical actuation, there's zero debounce delay. Plus, every switch is individually stabilized, giving the entire board a consistent feel across every single key. Rapid trigger mode enables keys to reset quickly as the switch travels upward within a sensitivity range of 1 to 0.1 millimeters. That's very different from mechanical switches where the reset point's in a fixed position. In-game, this allows for the fastest possible change, going from moving to a stationary position. That's a big deal in FPS games like CS2 or Valorant, where the hitbox becomes larger when you move. It's a potentially game-changing advantage if you're a serious competitive FPS player. And then there's Snap Tap. This one's crazy. If you've ever tried to change direction without fully releasing your key before pressing the next one, then you know that your character just sits there, and that can mean game over. But with Snap Tap turned on, if you're strafing left and quickly switch right, it responds instantly because it ensures that two keys are never actuated together. Basically, your WASD game just got buffed. But a word of caution, some games consider this a cheat. I've actually been kicked out of a few CS2 games for using it, but it's super fun and made a noticeable difference in my movement up until the point I got kicked. Let's do a quick sound test so you can hear this thing in action. I don't know if you can tell from your phone speakers or however you're listening to this video, but it's a fairly loud keyboard. If you're looking for quiet, this isn't it. But the good thing is the sound's mostly clean without any annoying pinging or ringing. Another big feature here is the 8000 Hz hyperpolling. It's reporting your keystrokes 8,000 times per second. That's just as ridiculous as the keystroke customization. The delay is going to be so tiny that your monitor refresh rate might actually be the bottleneck in your system now. In fact, according to Razer's own testing, these Gen 2 analog optical switches and 8000 Hz hyperpolling achieve just 0.8 millisecond latency. That's insane. Some people say no one can feel the difference between 1000 and 8000 Hz, and honestly, maybe you can't feel it, but when everything else in your setup's lightning fast, it's nice knowing your keyboard's not going to be slowing you down. One thing I really appreciate is you don't have to open Synapse for every little tweak. There's quick onboard adjustments that let you change the actuation points, set rapid trigger sensitivity, and swap profiles directly on the keyboard, and they give you a little cheat sheet to help out with the key combos. Speaking of onboard adjustment, the media dial's one of those things you didn't realize you needed until you start using it. It's got tactile bumps to make it easy to set your volume, and you can press down to toggle mute on and off. Then there's a couple dedicated media control buttons right next to it as well. In terms of performance, this thing's damn near perfection. Once you overcome the initial resistance and get the switches moving, they just glide up and down so perfectly. You can tell Razer spent a lot of time making sure these switches were top notch, and it paid off. big time. It took me a little while to play around with the actuation points to get everything the way I liked it, but once I did, it's hard to want to go back to using anything else. And I'm someone who prefers tactile switches, but man, the feeling of these is like addicting. And for typing, once you dial in the settings you like, it's really satisfying. It's crisp and fast. It's really hard to find any flaws with these switches, and you know what? That's the way it should be with a pro level keyboard. And of course, this wouldn't be a Razer product without Chroma RGB. The lighting looks good, it's evenly diffused, but overall, it's not the most flashy keyboard lighting I've seen. The focus here is clearly on raw performance first and lighting second. That said, it still looks good, and if you've got other Razer gear, a mouse, headset, maybe even a Chroma mouse pad, it all syncs up together for a consistent look on your desk. So yeah, the Razer Huntsman V3 Pro 8kHz is a serious piece of gaming gear. It's not cheap, but it's probably one of the most advanced keyboards you can buy right now. Between the solid construction, Gen 2 analog optical switches, rapid triggers, snap tap, 8000 Hz polling, and onboard control features, it's clear Razer went all in on this one. Is it overkill? Probably. Should you get it? I think that depends on the type of gamer you are. For top tier competitive players, I think it makes sense because you can benefit from the ultra low latency and deep customization. For everyone else though, it's probably more of a want than a need. That's the category I fall into. I definitely don't need this, but I have no problem admitting that I want it. At the end of the day, the Huntsman V3 Pro 8kHz is undeniably impressive, and if you want the absolute bleeding edge keyboard tech that Razer currently offers, this is it. Drop a comment and tell me what you think about this one. Is 8kHz polling something you can actually feel, or is this just a big flex from Razer? Purchasing links are in the description. Hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives on gaming gear, and we'll see ya.